I just wanted to show you these little bad boys. They are apparently paddles for mixing resin, and I might be a bit late to the party on this one, but they're fantastic for, sit down, they're fantastic for mixing paints, for pouring. I've got carpal tunnel, and so my wrists get really bad when I've got a load of paint to mix, and to be fair, I actually get help with, or I was getting help with that until I discovered these. So there's two different designs. They come in packets. Yeah, resin mixer panels they're called. I'm not going to show you the front because it's got my address plastered all over the front of it. But yeah, so mixer paddles, and the other designs came, in fact you might be able to see this a bit more clearly. And they're that shape. So I've got two different shapes because I wasn't sure if there was going to be any difference. And there really isn't any difference in how they actually mix. But this one is slightly better for mixing in smaller cups, because I don't always mix in a cup even that size. I've got some little not glass jars, I've got some little pet jars. It's pet plastic, so it's recyclable plastic, and these will fit in there really nicely, as you can see. And then once it's on the drill, I can still stir that round. So I'm about to make a gigantic mess of that, but you get the idea. Let me find somewhere to pop that and clean that up a bit. Maybe 12 in a box. So that's a good number so you're not, you know, having to use one and then clean it and then reuse the same one. You know, you've got a good number to be playing around with. And I thought if I just quickly demonstrate. So I did do a short on this, or I will be doing a short, but this is a great way to keep your paints fresh for a little while, keep the dust off and stop a skin from forming on the top. Just use an old glove that you'd be throwing these away anyway. And these were actually, where are we now? So it's the middle of January, and these were actually mixed before Christmas. And I've just had gloves on it, and I've added nothing to it. And you can see it's still at exactly the same consistency that it was mixed at 4 weeks ago. So that definitely works. So all you're going to do is basically, I'm not going to show you how to mix. That's a subject for a different video. But yeah, once you've got your paint and your medium, I'm doing bloom, so this is paint and pouring medium, and I'm using a little bit of Mod Podge. That literally goes into your drill. As I said, I'm not great with all of this stuff. That goes into your drill. I'm sure you'll find a much nicer way of doing it than me. The battery operated drill, and that's literally all there is to it. And so when you're mixing, so I would usually do that standing up. So you're mixing just as you usually would, except obviously you're not using your hands and wrists so much. My thoughts on these, they are, to my mind, not any quicker than mixing by hand. They're not. It takes the same length of time. I'm guessing mixing paint is mixing paint. You think it'd be a bit quicker because it's obviously spinning that much faster. I didn't notice it was particularly faster, but maybe that's just me. However, there's just so much less strain on my hands and wrists. I mean, I can mix a lot of paints now like this. The only thing I would say is this drill is a bit heavy. So I've been having a look around, and you can get smaller drills. I mean, I even looked at a child's toy one. It was just, you know, we had little batteries in it, little AA batteries. But I don't know if that would be powerful enough or that these would fit. So if you find that these are too heavy, you might have to go shopping for a more lightweight drill. And if I find one, I will keep you posted. I'll keep you posted on it. I'll keep you posted on it and let you know. But yeah, I highly recommend these for me. One thing I would say is that while these fit in these smaller pots easily, they're not as easy to clean as that style. And I don't know if you can see, if I bring that very close up, but you've got just minute traces of paint left in some of these little grooves. I mean, it's no biggie, and if you had a little brush even, you'd be able to get that out. But just so you're aware, if you haven't got little pots like this, then you might just want to stick with this model because they both work equally as well. My intention was to film a quick update as an add-on to the main video that you've just watched. This is actually my third attempt, and I'm not sure what's going on, but the audio and visuals are completely out of sync every time I've tried to film it. So I'm going to indulge in some blatant self-promotion right now by just scrolling through the website, so it doesn't matter that everything isn't dubbed correctly, and just talk you through the update. So what actually happened was last week, the person that helps me in the studio came in and I had to get on with something else that only I could do. So he ended up mixing a load of paint, which he's done for me before on a number of occasions, and I managed to persuade him. He was quite reluctant at first, but I managed to persuade him to use the paddles and the hand drill. The hand drill ran out of battery, basically. That's how much paint he was mixing for me. And he then decided he was going to use the mains drill to, you know, fix the paddles into. And honestly, he absolutely blatted through the paint mixing from that point on. So there's no question, the mains drill is definitely noisier, and obviously it's much heavier. Personally, I couldn't do it with a mains drill. They're just too heavy for me, even with a wrist support. But if you can manage a mains drill to power your paddles, what a great phrase, to power your paddles, then that is the way to go. It's just so much quicker. You know, any lumps, anything, it's just gone in seconds, literally in seconds. Yeah, I hope that was helpful, and apologies again for the blatant self-promotion, but hey, why not?